Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. So glad to see everybody this morning. I hope your weekend was fantastic. Thank you for being here for the morning routine, where we get to cover some news headlines, some stories, passage of wisdom, and a prayer to get our day started the right way. I hope your weekend was spectacular. It's Monday morning, the start of yet another week, to get things done, to make change, to whatever it is that's on your list of things to do. And I hope you have something on your list. I hope that you start off your day and your week with some intent in mind, and that you're not just wandering, generally through your days. I hope you're chasing something. So glad you're here this morning. Got lots of stuff to jump into this morning. Some quick stories to share with you and stuff. So I'm going to start with this month's issue of Time magazine, which came in the mail. Big article on Trump's son-in-law, which we are not going to talk about at all because whatever, it's a story. You can read it anywhere. But I am going to share a couple interesting nuggets of stuff. First, I want to share this right here. See this number? 234 million. Do you want to know what 234 million is? Number of passengers U.S. airlines anticipate transporting from June through August. June through August, they're going to transport 234 million people. The reason why I want to share that with you is if we have heard in the news so far over the course of 2 months or 3 months, 3 or 4 incidences on planes where people got roughed up and things weren't handled correctly, right? And we can all admit that's what happened on the airlines. 4, even 10, even 100 out of 234 million people means that they're pretty much doing a darn good job, wouldn't you say? Because there's less civil unrest on airplanes than there is in the streets of America today. That's for sure. 234 million, that's about what? Is that 2/3 of the U.S. population, or maybe whatever, right? There's a whole lot more. There'd be a whole lot more murders and things like that listed on that if this was in the streets instead of on airplanes. So the airplane people are doing a really good job. Just wanted to point that out. Thought that was interesting. The other thing that I had in here was this. Lights, camera, action. There's a little data bar here, which it seems always to be a really great little column here to share with you guys. The top filming locations in 2016 for the 100 highest grossing movies. Okay, so they took all the highest grossing movies and where were they filmed, and then they put the top 6 of them in this list. Listen to this one. 17 out of the top 100 grossing movies were filmed in the state of Georgia. Yes, Georgia is very Hollywood or movie friendly, I should say. 16 were in the UK, 13 were in Canada, 12 were in California, 6 were in New York, USA, and 2 were in France. So those were the most popular places to film Hollywood movies. I thought that was pretty interesting. I've heard that before about Atlanta down in Georgia, that they do all kinds of great tax incentives and things like that, and there's building all kinds of studios down there. So, but it was neat to see it in an actual, research number. So, but anyways, on we go, guys. So I was reading the other day. We've talked about Blue Apron before on the morning routine, and for those who don't know who Blue Apron is a home food delivery service to the house, but it's more than just food, it's meals. So what they do is they prepackage the exact ingredients, fresh ingredients that you need to cook a meal or meals, depending on what you order, right? And then that comes in and it comes to your house and it has a recipe card. And when you cook your meal, it's a healthy portion and with the recipe on how to cook it and everything, and then you're done. So everything is fresh, it's healthy, and there's no waste. There's not extra shoved in the back of the refrigerator. So anyways, this company was kind of one of the biggest, most popular names in this type of service. There's a lot of them out there. But anyways, they are going public. They're going to have an IPO. They're going to be on the New York Stock Exchange. They've been valued at $2 billion, which is insane. But I just want to read some numbers about this. This is kind of interesting. Blue Apron says that they delivered 159 million meals in 48 states. 159 million. This is a real, and they're only one of a lot of places that do this. This is a very popular thing. The challenge with these home delivery services, Blue Apron spends approximately $94 per customer to get a new customer. And they're having trouble making money because the problem is people sign up and then they don't stay on because it's too expensive or whatever it is, which makes sense because I've seen their promotions where you can get it for free, for your first one free or whatever. I would do that, but I wouldn't order it again because it is expensive, you know? But very interesting. Here was the number from Morningstar Notes. The meal kit business, they only retain 8 to 18% of the people they initially sign up. That is terrible in the business world. So, but they're coming on. They're going to make an IPO. Their biggest pressure, I just read this. I did not know this, but this makes perfect sense, that Amazon, Walmart, Whole Foods, and others are all exploring about getting in this business. Now, let me ask you, if Amazon were to get into the meal delivery business, I don't care if you're Blue Apron or Gold Apron, or I don't care who you are. They got your number, man. It's all over. They already have, whatever it is, 10 gazillion people's credit cards on file already and everything. You know what I mean? So if you're a Prime member, your stuff is on file. You hit the buy button and it comes. I mean, they got it. So, but anyways, good morning, Sean. Good morning, everybody. So that's what's going on with Blue Apron. Next story I want to share with you. This was very cool. I actually used this last night. So last year, all right, I'm just going to read little blurbs from this thing, okay? So it's called, last year Apple announced an app called Swift Playgrounds, okay? Some of you might have heard of this. I have never heard of it. This is fascinating, guys, okay? This is an app that lets kids and other coding newbies, which is me, coding as in coding on a computer to make the things work, right? It allows them to write their very own iOS programs using Swift language. The goal was to teach coding in a playful, interactive way. Okay, so this is an app you download either on a computer or on an iPad. It doesn't work on a phone. I downloaded it on an iPad yesterday to try it after reading this article. And you sit down, and it's a game. And you play this little game, and you walk through this thing, and it's teaching you how to code computer, like real computer language. No joke. I'm doing this stuff, like this little challenges and stuff, and I'm looking, and here's all the code that I just wrote, and I don't even understand. It's amazing. So anyways, they've just updated this thing. This year, that app has been downloaded 1 million times. The company is now releasing Swift Playgrounds 1.5, which is an update. Now, this is where it gets pretty cool. Listen to this. This new update will allow people to learn how to write code to control robots, drones, and other gizmos. This is amazing. Apple is working with several gadget makers to bring educational materials related to this capability directly to Swift programs. They're working with companies such as Lego, Parrot, which is a drone maker, Sphero, Ubtech, Wondershop, Skoog. These are all other companies like this. So this is fascinating. So now your kids or you, if you want to learn this, can write code, one to do things on the Apple, but now to make like robots move, like a real live robot that you would have on the desk, you can write code and then make it move. That's awesome, right? I tell you what, if your kids haven't seen this yet, I would highly recommend pulling it up and letting them get a chance. I really think that this generation right now, everybody needs to understand code language in some minimal way, especially if you're young. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So that is really, really cool. Swift Playgrounds. Again, it'll be in the morning notes for you at the end of the show. I'll post it up so you can find it, the link to the app and link to the article about it. So one last article I want to share with you guys before we move on. Great story about something very important, and that is how to make new friends, right? Seems easy, but it's not so easy. It's kind of a big deal. Not having enough friends is the same risk factor as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Wow. When your calendar's full, finding time to get together with friends can feel like work. Making new friends, however, can be even more daunting. Who has the energy, right? Friendship is enormously powerful in terms of happiness levels. Relationships are the number one promoter of happiness in life. A weak social circle is bad for your health. So how do you find new friends? Well, let's go over some quick steps, all right, to help you out. 1, contact old friends. Old friends might have connections to a whole group of friends, so you can contact an old one where you're already comfortable and then meet people through them, right? 2, make friends at work, right? You're there. You're hanging out with people. You have something in common to share. Now, this is one statistic that I'm going to share, and I debated whether I want to share it with you. But I'm going to share it with you because it's true and it's real, but I don't recommend it. And I hate to say that, okay, because it's counterintuitive on what I'm going to tell you. But one study has showed that 70 to 90% of office gossip tends to be true, and knowing what goes on helps you stay connected and get ahead. Now, talk about hanging out at the water cooler, right? I don't recommend gossip. I don't. I just don't. It's not a healthy thing. It can get you in a lot of trouble. More harm than good. This article seems to be saying that it's going to help you stay connected and get ahead. I don't know. I still wouldn't do it, and I don't do it. So anyways, 3rd, be a good listener and find things in common. People like other people whose names are similar, prefer the same brands, and they gravitate towards the same things. So be a good listener. Listen to people and find things in common. And last but not least, join or start a group. Denmark has the happiest people in the world. One reason is that 92% of its population belongs to a social group, such as a networking lunch, book club, movie night, wine tasting, etc., etc., etc. So join some kind of a group. I know a group that you can join that will totally change things. Volunteer somewhere, whether it's a church or an organization, and be there consistently, because the group of people that you're volunteering with, you'll have something to bind you together. Great way to make new friends. So that's that. All right, guys. Well, let's move on. Let's see what was on the top 10 Google Trends as of yesterday. The most searched things on Google as of yesterday. Number 1, NBA Finals. Number 2, Ariana Grande. She went back and did another concert in Manchester after that bombing that happened back there. Number 3, Gloria Gavan. Gloria Gavan. Oh, Derek Fisher's girlfriend. I guess they were in an accident. Okay, 4, Google Classroom. Number 5, India versus Pakistan. What is this? Is this baseball, or I don't know what this is. But India and Pakistan, I don't know, something. 6, WWE Extreme Rules 2017. That was the 6th most Google search thing. That's crazy. 7, Father's Day. It's coming, 2 weeks away. 8, Father's Day 2017. Father's Day is ranking twice yesterday on Google Trends. Number 9, Fear the Walking Dead. And number 10, Hail Berry. Hail Berry's back at the top trending news. Look at that. So let's see what our trending news is, what's going on this morning. What seems to be the most popular that people want to know about today? On top of the list is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Egypt cut ties with Qatar. Huh. I don't know the whole story of that, but interesting. Ariana Grande is the next one about that concert. After that is Reservoir, Australia. Woman 28 arrested after stabbing death of a 13-month-old. Oh my gosh, I can't stand some of these news stories. Now I'm skipping it. Next, Ada, Oklahoma. I'm skipping that one too. That's disgusting. Next one. Etihad Airways. Etihad Airways to suspend Qatar flights. A lot of things going on with Qatar over there. That's Qatar, in case I'm saying it the wrong way. Just in case. Next, Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard's ankle injury diagnosis fracture. Okay, I don't know who Eden Hazard is. Next is Sadiq Khan. While Trump slams London mayor, other world leaders send support. Okay? And after that, Portland, Oregon. Trump supporters confront counter protests in Portland, Oregon. What? Oh, wait, one more story. Sizzler. Another Sizzler set to close next month. I didn't even know Sizzler restaurants were still open. They are someplace. I don't know where the nearest one is to the east coast of the United States. But I remember I used to say from the movie White Men Can't Jump, going to the Sizzler, because it came out of that movie. And my kids would look at me and be like, what is he saying? What's going on? Because they never even knew there was a restaurant named that. So, but anyway, so there's your top trending news. I don't know what most of that stuff is. 2 stories on there I don't even want to read about because they're too sad and sick. Oh, man. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to a passage of wisdom. Yes, a passage of wisdom. Let's go. Here we go. Today's passage, is a story. All right. So we're in a series called Chasing Happiness, right? And this message yesterday on Sunday was talking right in lines with the project that I keep talking about with you guys, and that is, what have you been meant for? You were created with intent and purpose. You were meant for something. What is it, and are you living for it? And that's the message kind of trended right along that way. It was fantastic. It was really, I got so excited. My wife kept bumping my elbow going, did you hear that? Because she knows how passionate I am about this project. And so the stories that we hear this week will probably go along that line. So today's story is going to be Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 to 20. Let me just read through this story, guys, okay? When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, that's a town, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others, Jeremiah or one of the prophets." "But what about you?" he asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, here we go, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Wow! Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said? Blessed, he's talking directly to Simon. And Simon Peter he's been created and meant for something. And now he's finding out what it was. It's not because he's handsome, smart, intelligent, a rocket scientist, or any of those things, right? He says, "Blessed are you, Simon, for this is not revealed by flesh, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it, and I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven." That is fascinating. And I want to tell you, everybody out there today, your name may not be Peter. My name is not Peter or Simon Peter. But I know that God has something for you that you have been meant to do. I know it. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm telling you right now, if you were here sitting in my room, in my little space right here, I would look you straight in the eyes and tell you how much you're loved and how intentional you have been created. And now you need to find out what it is. Spend time finding out and asking, what is it? And then having the courage to actually go and do it. I am stoked. Talk about starting off on Monday. Fantastic. Woo, this is great. All right, guys, let's pray. Woo, all right. I'm so stoked. Here we go. Father, thank you so much. Thank you for this amazing passage of wisdom and encouragement. Oh my gosh, I'm so cranked up. I can't wait to start this day. I hope everybody, Father, who's with us right now in the morning routine feels the energy of this passage that you gave us. That you have created each and every one of us with a specific intent, a purpose. Help us, Father, all of us, discover what that is. To not be afraid to ask what it is and discover it. Protect us from the fear of being comfortable where we are and not wanting to know because we might have to change and do something different. And help us realize that if we discover what it is, that's where true happiness is because it's what you created us to do. Help us discover that, have the courage to find it, and then have the courage to actually go and do it. Father, we thank you so much for your love and your grace and your intent in putting us here and creating us and knowing who we are before we were ever even born. We love you so much. Amen. Guys, man, I am so excited for today. I hope you are too. It's going to be a great day as long as we go through this day right now, knowing exactly what Simon Peter found in this passage. So this passage, again, will be in the show notes if you want to read it some more. If you forgot what it was, everything will be there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I really mean it. Today, be exactly who you were meant to be. I'll see you tomorrow morning.